Warning, don't listen if it's a podcast you want. This is a Chumcast. Just your basic gabfest among chums. A little news, some entertainment, an annoying opinion or two, and, if you're lucky, maybe even a chuckle.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So it's time to buckle up. Whetstone Entertainment, in association with Is Chill Productions, presents Don't Listen, a basic Chumcast. And here are your hosts, Big Red and The Shebs.
Remember, everyone, just don't be yourselves.
It's showtime.
Go time.
Fire it up, Big Red.
Oh my God, are we finally going to pull the curtains on this freak show?
This is a reality now.
All the anticipation, all the preparation. It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red, hanging out with Shebs here in the cozy Circle Star Theater studios.
And cozy is an understatement. I can't tell you how small the studio is, but also very small with all these people here.
Some might call it ghetto.
Yes. Yeah. So Whetstone is definitely didn't roll out the red carpet for us. They rolled out some carpet, but not the red carpet.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, the job should be of the Is Chill people who are our producers and the Whetstone people who do some kind of job. What are they doing?
They write the checks.
Oh, yeah, okay. I probably should write that down.
They pay the bills.
Yeah, so I think their job should be to make it more comfortable in these tiny little studios, but instead you guys are breathing down my neck, throwing paper at me, index cards.
So just a quick, let's get this out of the way. Let's do the quick formal introductions from Whetstone Entertainment. We have Michael and Doug. Hello, guys. They're the veterans here. They're the elder statesmen. They're like our age, right? But then we have this group of just these young.
What do you want to call them?
I don't know.
Jerk-offs?
They're not millennials, and they're kind of in between. They're like Gen Z. I don't know. They're 24s. How old are you guys? Yeah, they're like 24. We got Evan. We got Marcio here. We got Eric, Ryan. There's Charlie. There's Daniel. And then, of course, the lone female of the bunch, and of course, your favorite Big Red, Rachel.
Rachel. She enjoys research. We enjoy research. We enjoy writing.
I know. But you've always said you don't have favorites.
I don't.
In Chill, but we know Rachel's your favorite.
I don't. And she does have the nice little braided ponytails that no one else is sporting for me today.
She's nice. Yep. She's giving a thumbs up. Yep.
Okay, here we go. We're getting another piece of paper. I'm going to thank you guys. Don't worry about it. But I just want to point out that this is the Circle Star. The Circle Star. So
Circle Star Theater, yeah.
Shebs and we grew up together here in the Bay Area, just outside of San Francisco. And, it's suburbia. But they, for some reason, when they were developing this area, they put the Circle Star Theater right in the middle of everything, right in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, right. It's right in the middle of a neighborhood, right next to the freeway.
Probably 10,000 people, where you could go see worldwide live acts from Frank Sinatra to Elvis Presley to Kool and the Gang to
I don't know, Bill Cosby, Neil Diamond was there. Yeah, I remember the advertisements as kids when driving by. Right in the middle of Redwood City, California. Literally right off the Bayshore Freeway, 101, right? So did you go to see any shows there? Oh, no.
Oh, let me guess. You were scared.
I was a little scared as a kid. I was a late bloomer, as my mother would say.
So no shows at all?
No shows until a junior in high school.
So it was pretty cool, right? Because the stage actually rotated.
Yeah.
Right? So any seat, you would get the chance to see, say, Elvis Presley's butt, and then you would get the opportunity to see Elvis Presley's face, right? The stage would rotate. So nobody got a bad seat in the whole place. And I think we went to go see Sonny and Cher there back in the day.
Wow.
We went to go see...
Now, your dad was into it. I mean, your dad...
Johnny Cash.
But your dad would take you, right? Because he was into stuff, too. I mean, he was into
country. He was into B.B. King. He was into Johnny Cash. He was into Willie Nelson, right? But really, everybody who was anybody, and they were playing somewhere in the Bay Area, they made a stop.
They did. No, it had the big names on the billboards. Absolutely.
So remember that. That's the Circle Star Theater studios that are so cozy that we're working in today.
In honor of the our history, We're starting off with the Circle Stars Studios. There you go.
But going forward, I would like to put out there that anybody who is listening to the Don't Listen Chumcast, all you would have to do is contact us at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yep.
The contact and let us know that you're interested in purchasing the sponsorship of the naming rights for the studios going forward. The entire first season is going to be 12 episodes.
12 episodes, that's right.
And it's all going to be throwbacks. The studio is already named something from our past, Northern California, on the peninsula, places that we grew up with that probably no longer exist.
That's right. So, but season 2 will be open. The idea is, though, there's a list here. We got the studios all for the first season here. And now it's just come season 2, but it's all open, baby.
Okay. All right. So they want us to get to thanking them. We need to thank, first of all of our sponsors.
Yep.
We need to thank all of the volunteers, the people who put in a lot of time into this content, which is virtually meaningless, but we got to thank them anyway. Right? It's garbage. That's why we're telling people not to listen.
Yeah, we're the front for the garbage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but and of course we have to thank Whetstone, and we have to thank Is Chill.
Yeah, Whetstone really been extremely supportive in getting this basic Chumcast off the ground, and really is Chill people. They are really cool. They're actually a lot of fun and really talented. So we really appreciate what they're doing.
We really do, and not only are we proud of them, but we're a proud example. We're going to show everybody that this Don't Listen Chumcast, that myself, Big Red, and the Chums, we are going to be a shining example of the complete failure of the public education system of California. We are the product.
We're poster childs.
We are why you should never educate your children in California.
Yeah.
This is what they turn into.
Yeah. Yeah. Two 50-somethings trying to talk about something.
And the show is about nothing.
Nothing and
everything.
And we know we suck. So it's this, like we said when we started this, we told the Whetstone guys, this was actually supposed to be just for us.
That's right.
We know it's not good.
We don't care.
No, it's just for us. If people listen, they've been forewarned. Really,
all the writing and the research and everything was based on what we liked.
Yes,
and we took so much shit. Like they didn't want us to do any of the topics that we're going to talk about.
They didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah, they did, and they didn't care, and they didn't think anybody else was going to care, and we don't care.
No.
That's why we're telling everybody don't listen.
That's why this is not as easy as people think, because there's a lot of production support now behind this, and we just know we're not going to be very good. It's not going to be good. So why? It's like putting lipstick on a cow turd. You know what I mean?
Dragging other people through our mud.
Yeah,
that's what it was with this Chill. Like they were like, what?
The key things if people are going to kick us when we're down, just don't do it during a hot day. That's what Will Rogers always said. Don't kick a cow turd in a hot day.
Remember that conversation? I was like, dude, the show is about nothing and everything and a little bit more of nothing all rolled up together. It's going to be a complete hot mess. And so don't listen. Do not listen. It's a show about nothing. No box. There's no box.
No.
There's no category. There's a suck list. And we're at the top of it.
Yeah.
There's no algorithm. They're like talking to me about algorithms.
Nope.
I'm like, it's not there. It's don't listen if you don't like it.
See? And now they're turning off their headsets right now. There you go.
But we are very grateful for you guys. You guys have stuck with us. We're a bunch of grumpy old men, and you guys have done a great job hanging with us and putting everything together. So we'll see how long that lasts.
All right. What do we got coming up? This is all new for everybody. What do we have?
Okay. On today's show, we're going to break out the BYOB. This is going to be a BYOB party.
It is.
No, it's not. I don't care what you bring. You can do whatever you want. We got the More Cowbell is coming up. This is I took a lot of flack over this too.
No way.
I did. I had to have an 80s segment.
That is my one segment I'm totally looking forward to.
So we're going to talk about overrated and underrated bands a little bit later. So you might want to stick around for that.
More cowbell. Yes.
And let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so you're going to throw another piece of paper in front of me while you're breathing on my neck? This is why we pay Whetstone and Ishto the big money?
She's being nice, fine.
So, Yeah Buddy is coming up. That's where we endorse a product. We're going to talk about the new album from Tears for Fears.
Excellent.
And they were like, who's Tears for Fears?
Yeah, they were actually weren't quite sure.
And the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka is coming up later. This is a fun segment where we pick a topic out of very randomly, and it's a very broad, trust me.
That's where you and Rachel put your effort in. You created this fishbowl with all these cards and random topics. So I think that's
very random.
I'm actually curious about that one too. That should play well.
You know, I just thought now going into the how we sort of came up with that was like, you know, we have more fun when we just do random shit that we can talk about.
Live bands are more fun when they just pick a song from someone yells out from the audience, right? And just see if they can play it.
Yeah, so the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka is a random topic that we researched. Something that, again, you and I were interested in talking about it. Nobody else was. So this is like politics. This is like sports. This is like pop culture. This is entertainment. This is a little bit of everything. It's a very broad spectrum. So that's coming up a little bit later. Again, that's the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. But right now, we're going to get into the this is a very serious contribution from the Shebs. The Shebs not only works with the Is Chill people on the technical sounding junk, all the stuff that goes into producing this show, but he also occasionally comes up with something nice that we can put together as a segment. And it was this segment, which is called
On This Day in History.
And On This Day in History has a sponsor. And today, the sponsor is Go-Car.
Go-Car, the cure for the common tour.
So they've been good to us.
They were out of the gate. Yeah, first call. They've been really good. They put us up in the city, and we get a chance to go revisit and experience some go-kart tours of the city. It was fantastic.
Yeah, so Go-Car has been fantastic to us. They rank right up there with the Whetstone people and our production group at Ish Chill. But right now, on this day in history, this is exciting. I'm glad that you came up with this because I love history. And I didn't know if you were going to really be into it, but there's a lot of Booyah and Boom Shakalaka that's going to be related to history.
We're going to have so much fun. The people on the edge of their seats right now.
So here we go. On this day in history back in 1976. Hold on. It's time to buckle up.
Oh, I'm totally buckled. That's bicentennial year here in the United States.
The Happy Days spinoff happened. It was called Laverne and Shirley.
Really?
On this day in history back in 1976. It was the premiere episode was today or tonight on ABC. Squiggy's first name was what?
It was Andrew Squigbond.
God, how did you know that?
I just remember the stupid stuff I can remember stupid trivia.
Did you watch a lot of Laverne and Shirley?
I totally watched Laverne and Shirley. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. It was back to back with Happy Days.
It was a must see TV before there was must see TV.
Pepsi and milk.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Carmine Ragusa, Gold Gloves boxer.
Oh yeah,
and dancer.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that at the right time. It says here that they tried to get Carmine a spinoff, but it never got picked up for a full season.
I was not aware of that. No.
I thought he was a cheeseball dude. He was the worst character of the whole thing. I was into Lenny and Squiggy.
How about Laverne's father, Frank?
He was nice every once in a while.
They brought in Mrs. Babish, the whole landlady thing, and then they got married, and then
impressive, dude!
I'm just saying,
you were a serious Laverne and Shirley viewer, right?
Remember the silly stuff,
Shit.
She had the big L on her shirt,
Okay, did you know that Laverne and Shirley they did an album of covers?
I was not aware of that.
Me neither. So I mean,
can we Spotify that?
I was thinking that. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if you could. But I know that Laverne, Penny Marshall, was very talented, but I didn't think that singing would have been in her sweet spot.
I would not have thought that. I wonder if there was and back then, remember all the characters in the shows, there were always some sort of musical kind of groups. Happy Days had Anson Williams, Potsy, he sung and they all played stuff. They had Leather Tuscadero played on Happy Days, they had the music. Squiggy and Lenny.
Oh yeah. Lenny and the Squigtones.
Lenny and the Squigtones. That's right. That's right. They played. They had like their own little group on the show.
And Michael, what was his name?
Michael Keaton or Michael.
So Keaton.
Is it Keaton? Michael Keaton?
I don't know, but he ended up being a pretty talented guy.
He always was, right? Because they did Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, one of my favorites.
Yes. Yeah, Spinal Tap. So he was on Spinal Tap, and then they end up doing some jazz one or some folk music one too on the back end recently.
I remember thinking, wow, he and Penny Marshall may have been the most talented two to come out of the entire cast of that show.
Probably, yeah.
And the downfall for the show was when NBC came up with the A-Team and they went up against the A-Team and it just knocked them out.
That was the A-Team killed it.
Knocked them out, right? So they lasted 8 seasons. Laverne and Shirley lasted 8 seasons, 178 total
but
episodes.
You can't keep
amazing.
it going when you but Shirley left. I mean, Cindy Williams left the show or wanted out kind of towards the end, and they tried to keep it going the last couple of years. They moved everybody to Los Angeles. Remember?
You are really proving to be the Laverne and Shirley like authority, bro.
Yeah, it just lost it. I mean, the last several years were just more about guest stars than anything else.
You're pulling this. You're really pulling this whole. You've tricked everybody. No one knew you were into any of this stuff, and you've got knowledge, bro.
I just remember stupid stuff.
And that was a look at what happened in our past. That was a look at what happened on this day in history. And it was brought to you by our friends at GoCar.
The Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.
This mind virus is no joke.
This is how we party.
Nothing, but a whole lot of nothing burger right here. Don't listen.
We're back to the middle of nowhere.
We are. I'm still kind of dancing from that 30-second dance party. I haven't stopped yet. And the whole Is Chill group, they're still jigging out there.
Another one of my suggestions that took at least 2 months to get passed through the legislature and had to be cleared by the Senate in order for that to get done. And it's perfect.
No, I think it fit just right in. Listening to it on the headphones, it was like, yeah.
Are you ready to be inspired?
Oh, I'm always ready to be inspired.
Then you need to unplug. You need to walk away. Now is the time to don't listen. Walk away. If you're looking for some inspiration, this is not the place to be.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we are 15 plus minutes in. If you haven't been inspired, if you're not liking it, it's not going to get any better. It's not.
And if you're
now the more cowbell segment could really save the whole show. I'm just saying.
That's coming up a little bit later. That's our look at the 80s.
Yep.
And that's going to be overrated and underrated bands today. And everyone's got an opinion, right? Everyone's got a butthole and everyone's got an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So that's coming up a little bit later. So if you want to be inspired, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do the trick.
Because I have a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Where are the classified documents, by the way?
I don't know. I was thinking Rachel had it, but maybe it's maybe it's Daniel.
Everything around here is about a Chinese spy balloon or a classified document. It's very serious.
Yeah. They're not even. They're all very serious. Look at them back in the booth right now. They're all very serious.
Look at them! Look at them scrambling to try to get this frickin' fishbowl in front of us for the booyah and the boom shakalaka.
Rachel's taking another.
I knew this was going to be a pain in the ass.
No, Marcio has no skills with fishbowl, so yeah, Rachel's got it. Okay, but anyway, yep, it's working its way to us right now. So.
Okay, so it's time for the booyah and the boom shakalaka.
Oh yeah, the booyah and the boom shakalaka.
And the booyah and the boom shakalaka is being brought to us today by our friends at Newport Land Design. So let's get to it. Have you guys got this all? Have you guys got this all handled, Rachel?
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay. She doesn't want to make eye contact.
Here, you can't set it there. Here, I'll hold it here. Big red. You here? Put your. Oh yeah. You pick a card. There you
got it.
Okay, here you go. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good. So we're going to take a look at famous people that have bad teeth.
Okay.
I
Really?
love this. I love
I am
doing
sure,
this research.
I am sure if we had 3 people still listening, they've just turned off the Chumcast. Yeah.
And you know who spawned this inspiration?
No.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, really? You were watching that whole
It was
trial?
It was during the Amber Heard thing, and I'm like, that dude has the shittiest teeth I've ever seen in my
He
life.
smokes, right? And he drinks, and he's just, and
So it makes you kind of think. It makes you kind of think to yourself, wow, there are these famous people out there that have more money than they can count, but they haven't put $5 into their teeth. And we live in this era where there are dentist offices on every corner of every street in America. So not only is it accessible, but it's affordable for most people. And if it's not affordable, you can get government help or whatever it might take to. I think teeth are very important. This tapped into a side of me when I saw Johnny Depp. It tapped into the side of me that I was totally unaware of, which is like, wow, teeth really turn me on.
Yeah.
They've always really been this thing that turned me on. If I see a chick who has neglected her mouth, I'm not down.
It's very perceptive of you.
I'm not. It's not judgmental, is it?
No. It's
I
just
think
it's just
I
like
think it is.
well, no, it's just one thing that you notice.
It's a thing for me. It really is.
It's the foundation for a nice smile.
Like, do you think that somebody close to Johnny Depp has said to him, "Hey, man, you got to get some work done, bro"?
No, because then he says, "Well, I'm doing all the pirate movies, so they didn't have good teeth back then." So it's he's staying in character.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. He could be staying in character, and he could have an ego so big that he's not listening to anybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
He doesn't need to, right?
And when he smiles, he could be seeing in the mirror. He could be seeing bright, smiley. I don't care because I'm getting laid everywhere I go anyway.
Yeah. What does he need to do? He's all indications are that he's perfect. He's a perfect man.
So the rabbit hole that I went down to once I got into this was George Washington.
Ah,
God, it just
wooden teeth.
My whole body aches for what that guy went through.
Anybody back then, right? I mean, if you had a toothache, there wasn't not much you could do.
Well, I think he is kind of the reason why we have the pain, the suffering, all this stuff that he went through with his teeth. I think that's the reason why we have the modern dentist.
Oh,
right. So here's some of the crazy, just quickly, crazy stuff about George Washington and his mouth. So he used to buy his teeth from his slaves, right? If he had a slave with a nice set of teeth, he was like, "Hey, how much for that? How much for that?"
I thought he had wooden teeth.
No, he had all kinds of contraptions. He had no teeth at all. They all rotted out. He had a whole bunch of different contraptions that they put. He was having things transplanted before transplanting was cool.
Really?
Yeah. And it was crazy because all of the dentists were in France and there were no airplanes. So in order to get anything done, he had to have it shipped on a boat. The dentist in France had to work on the teeth and bring them back, right? So he went through so much crap. It's crazy. When I was reading about his teeth, his mouth situation, I felt so grateful. So grateful. I mean, think about it. We look around and most people have beautiful teeth, beautiful smiles, especially your kids, like your generation, like our generation. Most kids in our generation all wore braces to have perfect teeth, right?
Braces, neck gears, retainers. We were, and then the dreaded headgear, which was one step up from that the neck gear. But we all went through that.
So George Washington's day, he tried ivory, he tried gold, he tried metals, he extracted teeth from animals.
What?
Extracted ivory, got into, like I said,
That's why there's no portrait of him with his mouth open or smiling.
All right. And that got down into that rabbit hole too. Like he could never, it was the shortest inauguration in the history of the presidency. So his people were like, "Hey, you can't talk, man." And he was like, "Don't worry about it, bro. I'm not going to talk. I don't like talking at all," because teeth, he had this contraption in his mouth that was so hard to keep in his mouth, right? Dentures, it was so awkwardly fit into his mouth and so difficult for him to talk. He was so scared that his teeth, what teeth he had surgically put in there through these dentures were going to fall out. He wouldn't talk. So when he got elected president, they were like, don't talk. He's like, don't worry about it. I don't talk anyway. So it was the shortest inauguration speech in the history of the president.
So he got sworn in, and then he went up to the mic and said, thanks.
Maybe. Think about thanks. You got to put the tongue in between the teeth to say that.
Yeah, and there was no mics back then. He had to yell. If he's yelling, those teeth could like fly all over the place.
Oh, yeah, there was no mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that FedEx had boats, so he was getting his teeth from France. But yeah.
So I think President George Washington was very self-conscious, and he went through a ton of mental anguish. If you think about that angle, right? These teeth are all crappy, and they're flying out all over the place. You can't talk. By the time he died, his mouth and his jowls, and it was very disformed. It was very
really.
Yeah. It'd be because that thing that they were putting in his mouth didn't fit, and it stretched out his cheeks, and it did. And you can look everywhere. I looked everywhere. There's not one picture or painting or anything of George Washington cracking a smile. So imagine that mental anguish, right? A smile means everything to me on some days, right?
Yeah.
If I can see people smiling, right? It's really, really a great thing to be able to do. He couldn't do that.
If he was happy, he couldn't smile. If he was sad, it didn't matter.
And then what about the communication?
I know. What about Martha?
Martha must have been miserable too.
Oh, yeah.
Miserable, non-smiling. Oh, yeah. And they drank port wine. They drank port wine, which stained all of these things all the time. Like they would go black, almost black.
Yeah, you can't.
So he would actually have to have those shipped on a ship, not shipped FedEx, but shipped to France.
Well, it's a little known fact that FedEx did have boats back then. So
yeah, and they that's right. They got the castaway guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was rough. I mean, we should never take for granted our teeth. George Washington, we should thank George Washington every single day for having a bad set of teeth, because he really set the precedent, and the industry came around and became such a huge deal because our president brought some attention to it.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
So who are some other people with some famous people with enough money to have great teeth that do not? So I was going to put Taylor Swift on this because
she's fine.
I was gonna. I looked into this. She's fixed everything. She's got nice boobies now. She's got a different kind of butt now, and she has completely fixed her mouth. So she makes the A-list. She's the example of what you should do if you have money, right? She is the positive. She's doing what you should do.
Yeah, but okay. So like the Sopranos guy, Steve Buscemi, right?
Oh, Buscemi.
Yeah, but that's a character. Those are character teeth. That's why. He makes his money off those. He can't fix those.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking that he's thinking he could probably pull a few more women if he had nicer teeth.
Okay.
In the back of his mind, that's got to be there somewhere, right?
Okay. I know they aren't stars, but I mean, Franklin Delano Roosevelt had horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever see those things? They're like all over the place, and then throw Eleanor Roosevelt in with all those, like a whole mouthful of molars. Come on.
They're great people, though.
We're awesome people.
No judgment here.
No judgment, but yeah, their teeth, yeah, no.
Madonna.
Part in front, right?
Yeah, like David Letterman, dude. And then she's just gotten completely out of whack. Dude, she's like a gopher now. She's like a gopher with a Letterman mouth.
Well, she's totally, I don't know what she was thinking. She's totally just
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, she totally Jaxified her face.
She went the Michael Jackson route.
Yeah.
And the teeth, right? So I don't even know how many albums she sold. I don't know how much money she's got, but someone should say to her, hey, let's take a hiatus for 6 months and do a little
talented,
work.
though. She was, I mean, you ever hear?
You said that she was the 80s. She's like the signature of the 80s. I think she's like freaking bubblegum and no good. And I think she's the greatest thing ever.
No, I think she's one of the pillars of the 80s. Absolutely. Musically. But that's a future segment on more cowbell.
So Letterman is on this list. David Letterman, he's got enough money, but that's also part of a character thing, I think, too. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's
a comedian.
He's not making his money on
He's
love.
supposed to look funny when he's a comedian.
Zac Efron, he used to have really bad teeth. I think he got them fixed up. Maybe
he had
a
bad
little
teeth.
bit.
I don't know.
Really bad.
Can't even see through his beard.
She said some of the pictures we saw of that guy.
All right.
Ricky Gervais is another one we mentioned.
All British people. Just put someone who's British on the list.
I will top off this. We're not judging here. We're just observing, right? So Michael Strahan will be the final one that we'll talk about. And I think he's made millions off of that big gap in his mouth.
Gaps can work for people. I think it's okay.
They don't work for me. One of the things that attracts me to women is a beautiful smile.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that's one of those, that's a thing. That's a deal breaker, right?
I know someone in our family who has a gap in their teeth, and beautiful one.
But the other question, yeah, I know. But the other question would be, if you're really interested in somebody, how would you ever be able to say, hey, you're beautiful, but we get along, but I got a dentist appointment for it. How do you go about telling
I'll let you in on a secret. After all my 80s orthodonture torture, I experienced a phenomena called root drift, which caused a little gap in the front of my teeth, which I was very self-conscious about, and I got it fixed. But I didn't.
Did someone mention that to you? Did they say,
No, everybody thought it was fine, normal, but I was really self-conscious about it, so I got it fixed.
Yeah. See? That's the way to get that out of your mind, is to act and not sit around thinking about it all the time.
I acted.
But I don't think Michael Strahan's thinking about it at all.
No,
I think he's smiling wider.
Doing fine. Yeah.
So that's a little taste of the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. And it was brought to you by our friends at Newport Land Design.
Halftime!
All right, let's just see for a minute how annoying I can be. Let's see. Not really super comfortable on my knees, but I'm going to give this a try. So I'm going to join all of the other annoying podcasters that are begging for some dough. I hate doing it, but you got to do what you got to do, right? The bottom line is that we do have some cool stuff that you can check out at our website. It's don'tlistenchumcast.com. We have a WTF power poll that we're going to unveil in episode 2. That comes up in a couple of weeks. And also there are opportunities for you to offer your feedback to us there. Plus you can give us some of your really hard-earned money. Yay. I know you're looking forward to doing that. If you do like the content of the Chumcast and you have a bunch of extra money, why don't you just let us help you spend it? We do accept donations. There's a donation tab there and a Venmo tab there at don'tlistenchumcast.com. So any donations and any interest in sponsorships, you hit the sponsor tab there and just let us know that you're interested in sponsoring one of our segments. And part of those proceeds will go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's. They do outstanding work with Parkinson's. So basically, this is just, an opportunity for us to ask for your money. So if you can spare a dime, kick it down.
Don'tListenChumcast.com.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Taboo, voodoo, and boohoo. Don't fucking listen.
Okay, welcome back. It's Big Red along with the Shebs. Here it is, the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast, and we have finally pulled the curtain back on the freak show.
We have, and we're kind of rounding the corner here on the very first Chumcast.
This is the premiere of all premieres.
It is, and we can tell by, again, there's still a fairly large crowd in the booth here.
Yeah, and they're all breathing very heavily on the back of my neck still.
They are. During the 30-second dance party, they are dancing, so they are happy with what they're hearing so far.
Well, more cowbell. Our look at the 80s is coming in a second.
That's why I'm still here.
It's that's the only reason, because it's not the checks.
I know it's not. No, it's not the checks.
So stick around for that. We're going to take a look at the overrated and underrated bands of the decade, the 1980s. But right now, it's time to get into our product endorsement segment that we call Yeah, Buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Buddy is being brought to you by our friends at Pearl's Bright Smile Design. And today, I want to talk about a band that we used to love in the 1980s, Tears for Fears.
When I hear those old songs, it absolutely reminds me of you. It is absolutely associated with you.
They were absolutely a big new wave band in the 80s. Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World was big. They got a little bit too big for their britches. They couldn't work together anymore. So after an album called Sowing the Seeds of Love in 1990, the duo of Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal, they parted ways.
I don't know about that song. Sowing the Seeds of Love. I don't know.
So it is probably one of the best production pieces ever, and very expensive. It was like $1 million album that it took 4 years to complete. Obviously, they hated each other at that time. So they broke up after that. And, I didn't really care for them. Roland Orzabal, the lead singer there, he kind of did his own. He got the name. He bought the name rights for Tears for Fears. He did his own stuff during the 90s. Kurt Smith just kind of floated away. He was kind of the Andrew Ridgeley of that.
Oh, good knowledge.
Of that band, right? So, but it all kind of came home in 2004, 2005. I'm working up in the city for the KNBR, K-Fog, the Bone radio group up there, Susquehanna. And Tears for Fears came. They came there and they did an acoustic set and we watched them and everything. And then they played at the Warfield. This is 2004. They've been broken up for a long time. They hated each other and they got back together because they were probably broke in 2004. And the album was for shit. It was horrible. In fact, I just made out with a chick. We went to the Warfield that night. They did an acoustic set and interviews and signed all my shit. I had, 12 inches. I had dance remixes. I had posters. They actually stopped, said hello, did small talk with me, and signed everything.
Really? They spent all that time with you.
Then we went to the Warfield that night, and it was terrible. You could just tell they weren't into it. They were just doing it for money.
Was the crowd into it? I mean, did it feel like it was?
I think it felt a little bit disappointing. I was a big fan, and I really just found a place to make out with the girl that I was with that time.
Did she have nice teeth?
She did.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
She did. I was very
see, it's chill, guys. That's how you tie segments together. See? Okay, there you go. They're just I had to school them a little bit.
She had, the best combination for me is really nice teeth and vision problems. Problems.
Yeah.
She had both of them. So yeah, they were not good. And the album was obviously put together just so they could, make some money. They were broke at this time. So they break up again. Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal, they go, the album is a flop. And 15 years later, they start, the 80s thing becomes a big deal. They start playing at Lollapalooza. All these 80s bands start playing at Lollapaloozas and all that. So they called Tears for Fears. They started playing live. They enjoyed it. They get together with all of these massive producers, the big name producers. At that point, they have these producers worldwide that were known for working with 80s bands that would reproduce those 80s hits, right?
Yeah,
they would find a way to put that magic back together. So they're going through this, they're trying to put this album together, and then, Roland Orzabal's wife dies. She's an alcoholic. He goes to rehab. It all gets put on the show. It's all done, right? So Orzabal gets out of rehab, comes back to Kurt Smith and says, hey, what do you think about this album? What should we do? And he's like, we got all these super producers here that we're paying all this money to, and I don't like any of this shit. I don't like it either. So they take an acoustic guitar, they fire everybody, and they take acoustic guitars, lock themselves in a house, and they come up with this album, The Tipping Point. And my expectations were very low, but I had to download the album, obviously, right?
Sure.
And I heard it. I remember hearing it when it was released maybe a year ago. And I was like, holy shit, spot on. So really what I'm here to tell you is if you were a new waver in the 80s, if you enjoyed the synthesizer music of the 80s, the ABCs, the Depeche Modes, the New Orders, the Tears for Fears, you enjoyed that. This album actually takes you right back into the 80s synthesizer, new wave music. And the album actually tells a story. It tells a story of the grief and the death and the pain that Orzabal had to go through. with his wife passing away and all the alcoholism and the drugs and all the stuff that they went through. But back in the day, we used to listen to albums because they kind of told a story.
Right.
So this one all fits together and it all takes you back into the 80s. They do a great job. So if you get a chance, download or pick up the new Tears for Fears album, which is called The Tipping Point. And that was
Yeah, buddy.
brought to you by...
I don't remember. You have the card. Come on, you have the card.
I threw it away. I'll tell you. We had that thing going there for a second.
That's right.
I think it was Bright Smiles.
I think it was it?
Yeah. It was by Bright Smiles. Pearls. Bright Smile Design.
Don't listen. It's a mind virus.
Pass me more of that damn awesome sauce.
Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and let's get stupid.
We are back. I am Big Red. He is the Shebs. We are inside the cozy Circle Star Theater studios here. It's the show. It's the Chumcast, not the podcast, but it's a show about nothing and everything kind of rolled up into a big hot mess.
Yes,
So,
it's just you and I talking.
there's no boxes. There's no categories. There's no algorithms. It's just suck.
That's right.
Pure 100%.
Yeah, we're not really good at this.
And I do want to remind you guys that if you're stupid enough to check us out for the next episode, that would be episode 2, not the premiere of all premieres. We're going to read your feedback live.
If we get any feedback, that's a big if there. We're assuming people are listening to us.
Well, if we get any feedback, we're going to read it. And I had to go through hell and back.
I'm okay to read it.
I had to go through hell and back to get this segment approved.
It's going to tell people are just going to be telling you how horrible we are.
Every excuse in the world. Oh, no F-bombs. I'm like, there's no censorship. No F. We're not reading F-bombs. People are going to hate you guys. You don't understand. People are aggressive. I'm like, I don't care. It's going to be fun.
Hey, it's chill, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. How we doing so far?
Thumbs up from you, right?
Yeah,
Evan?
Yeah, they're all. Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Well, again.
And Rachel, that is I'm not being creepy. That is an outstanding look, right? She's got the ponytails, which are very underrated, especially when they are long and when they are braided.
Yes.
Sorry,
braiding takes effort.
Don't mean to make it. I'm making her blush. I don't mean to do that, but it's a good look. It's far better than Evan's look.
Yeah, no, Evan needs a little. We'll get him some clothes.
We got to dust him off.
Yeah. He should at least shower before you come into the studio.
But coming up next time, we are going to read. If anyone gives us, they can contact us at don'tlistenchumcast.com and you can let us have it.
Yes,
because I love that shit.
Yeah, we want reinforcement that we suck. That's all we're asking.
Well,
just tell us that we're not wrong.
We're at the top of the suck list.
Yeah.
And you can't find us wherever you find your podcast, even though we are a Chumcast.
Yeah, look under vacuum cleaners.
So let's get into more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
And let's see. Did we get a sponsor for more cowbell?
I think so.
They told me that the entire... Yes, we do. Thank you. This is the wrong one, though. Okay?
See, this is the typical of a first episode.
I don't like it.
Yeah, they got is chill, guys. Come on, guys, got to support Rachel better out here. So come on.
Is this correct? Oh, these are the classified. Okay, so more cowbell. Our 80s segment is being brought to you today by Not a Through Street Video Production.
Oh, excellent. Okay,
but we have to get the sponsors right.
Yes,
they were dumb enough to throw money at us.
They put some money in. But us
can't get it right.
Yeah, but us screwing it up just reinforces how bad we are at this, and they're getting those money. They're getting their money's worth.
I just want to make sure that the damn classified documents are organized at some point. Pre-show, post-show, do it at the meeting during the week or whatever, but we have to have some better organization going.
Just wait till next week.
And this is coming from a slob, dude. I'm a full-blown slob.
Everybody there will be better next week.
More cowbell, overrated and underrated bands.
My favorite segment.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
That's right, because the sun shines on you all day.
Let me hit you with a quick 80s fact here. These are some songs. Now, again, this is a rabbit hole that we got into. This is a me and Rachel thing. These are the songs that stayed at number one for the longest during the decade of the 80s.
Oh, okay.
For the entire decade.
All right, let's take me back. Take me back, Big Red.
I think we all know who number one is, but we're going to start at number 10. Physical. Olivia Newton-John, 1981. This was her big hit after not one, not two, but 11 studio albums for Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was maybe a lot older. Is she dead?
I don't know. I don't know. Guys,
figure that one out. We'll get to him next week on that one. She was hot back in the day, dude.
Beautiful woman.
I went to go see the movie.
I think she did die.
I went to go see the movie Xanadu with two girls like in the 6th grade or something.
Why would you?
Just for Olivia Newton-John and the two girls that asked me to go with them. It was horrid. It was wretched. It gave me nightmares. I didn't even know what was going on, but Olivia was freaking smoking, dude.
But Grease was the one that kind of brought her. I mean, this all happened post Grease, so.
Yeah, I think I got dragged into that movie too. Okay, so Physical, Olivia Newton-John in 1981. Betty Davis Eyes, Kim Carnes. That was also in 1981. And it was the little factoid there was that it was written in 1974. And it took all those years and Kim Carnes and her raspy voice to make it a hit.
Yeah, and don't forget, and she added that whole, after that song came out, every drummer in the world was looking for that. Right? I mean, everyone wanted one of those things, right? That can make that noise, right?
So simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 1981 was split between Let's Get Physical and Betty Davis Eyes.
Okay.
And then in 82, it was Rosanna. Was actually the record of the year.
Toto, underrated band.
Interesting thing about Toto is that they're still within the industry of that, that group that came out of the 80s. They have this stellar reputation for being these like unbelievable musicians.
Yo, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that at the
They're
time.
still performing. Yeah, absolutely.
So that was in 82, Rosanna with Toto. And by the way, that was the record of the year. And then it continues to really get big. These are iconic people. Diana Ross and Lionel Richie got together for Endless Love. Richie wrote it. And this is actually the biggest selling single of Diana Ross's entire career.
Really?
And I believe that she may be on tour.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's another one that you guys can look up.
Yes.
But Diana Ross was hot. She was banging the Kiss guy, Gene Simmons.
I did not know that. Did she really?
Yeah. I don't know what women were into that guy for. But, maybe there's something special going on there. I don't know.
Maybe.
Rock stars get it all.
Huh?
So, Endless Love, Lionel Richie and Ross. Lionel Richie actually also is a very big signature personality of the 80s. He hit after hit after hit, right?
Yeah.
Sappy, but it was great to slow dance to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but except Dancing on the Ceiling, there you go. That's a foot stomper.
We're going to step it up a little bit with Jump.
Oh, Van Halen.
Yeah.
The introduction of the synthesizer in rock music with Van Halen, right? That threw a lot of people off, but they did it very well.
And it was in 84, and it broke up the band, right? Because David Lee Roth wasn't having anything to do with Eddie's synthesizer crap.
No, he wasn't. And then, of course, the title track on that album was 1984, that whole synthesizer intro, right? Coming in, yeah.
Amazing.
But Jump was a hit.
And it knocked off Culture Club's Karma Chameleon.
Culture Club. Oh, Jeez.
Remember
Talk about repeating lyrics over and over and over and over and over.
Talk
and
about
over
a
and over
phenomenon. We had girls at Carmont High School that just showed up like Boy George,
I'm
dressed like Boy
telling you.
George overnight.
I know. I remember watching. There was an Oprah episode where she's interviewing
Boy
George, and then like every time they went to break, he would have to bolt backstage because the whole crowd would rush the stage, and security would be all there trying to hold everybody back. It was crazy.
Think about it. We had never seen anything like that. That came out of England's New Romantics era.
That's right.
You know, guys wearing lipstick, Duran, all that, right? And we had never seen anything like that. And I thought the music,
freaking people out, man.
dude, that music hit for some weird reason.
And that's when Poison started wearing lipstick, and Motley Crue started wearing it, and Twisted Sister. They all got started. You know, it all influenced. Just saying.
It's influencing me. Look at my lipstick.
I know you get chapped lips like up to.
I changed that whole thing. Like you can definitely put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Look at me.
You can also peg their pants.
You're a funny guy. Okay, so Jump, Van Halen, that was in 84. Every Breath You Take was the other big one. That was by the Police in 82. And Sting wrote it during a nervous breakdown. He was going through a divorce with his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
This is before Trudy Schuyler?
You got
must
me.
have been, yeah. Yeah, it must have been.
So,
and didn't they record that album at that Montserrat Studios with the volcano and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They were they were a big money band.
Oh, they were solid musicians.
So everybody knows that the number one album of the decade was Thriller from Michael Jackson.
That just took the world by storm, right?
But maybe something that people don't know is that Billie Jean was the album's biggest single.
No, that's not surprising. But they all remember, you know, Thriller and from the music video, which really transformed the music video piece of the decade as it all started up. Yeah, absolutely.
So the big ones: Physical, Betty Davis Eyes, Rosanna, Endless Love, Jump, Every Breath You Take, Thriller, and then real quick, the top TV shows. And man, TV has gone so far. We may have more channels, but TV has gone so far downhill since the 80s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's just an opinion. Everyone's gotten just like a butthole, right? That's just an opinion, but
it's changed.
Here are the top couple of shows from the decade. So The Love Boat comes in at number 5.
Oh yeah. Yeah, risque on the first level.
Marion Ross, remember Mrs. Cunningham?
Oh yeah.
She was the star who was the most frequent guest. She was in 14 appearances, 14 episodes.
Okay.
MASH, Patrick Swayze and Ron Howard were two of the many, many big stars that appeared on MASH.
Ron Howard played the character on MASH that was underage and trying to impress his girlfriend back home, and Hawkeye was going to cover up for him, and then another guy lost his life in the war who was their friend, and then he came back and turned him in, and Ron Howard just said, I'm going to hate you for the rest of my life, and Hawkeye turns to him and says, and let's hope it's a long hate.
Man, that is good knowledge.
I remember that episode.
So you not only were hiding the fact that you're a Laverne Shirley expert.
Yes.
You are also spending a lot of time watching MASH.
Sherman T. Potter. Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That might get us a sponsor or two.
It may be, right? Just from that stupid knowledge.
60 Minutes is obviously going to get in there.
Yeah, it has to. Boy, if you got 60 minutes in your lobby, you're in trouble.
So I do have an interesting thing about this. So 60 Minutes was the first news show that made money. All the news was a dud, right? It was a ratings dud. It was an advertising dud. It never made money until 60 Minutes came around. And now that's why news is such a big moneymaker, because they all copy everything that was done on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
They showed them the model of how you can turn news. You know, news used to just be the news. Now it's drama, it's sensationalism, it's, all over the board, right? It's a business. So my parents do it every night. What did on Sunday night, dude? It was like Lawrence Welk.
It was the signal that the weekend was over. As soon as you started hearing that tick, tick, it's like the weekend was over. You got to think about, do I have homework? It's due Monday, all that stuff, right?
And then Disney, the Disney show. What was the Disney show that was on Sunday? Wide World of Disney.
No, Sunday, yes.
The Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah, every Sunday night.
Yeah. So we're going down memory lane. Dukes of Hazzard hits me in the sweet spot, though. They used 150 General Lee's 150 General Lees were used, right? And one General Lee was destroyed for every episode.
Wow.
Imagine that budget. Great show, though. And finally, the number one show of the decade was J.R. Ewing.
Dallas.
Yep.
I guessed who shot JR correctly. Just
Kristen.
saying. Kristen, Sue Ellen's sister.
I had a crush on Kristen. I think she kind of liked me too.
She was no, they were all beautiful women on that show.
And they drank real alcohol. Do you know that?
No, I did not.
So Larry Hagman,
But
and
he had
Patrick,
the whole liver problem like later in life, right?
yeah, killed him. Larry Hagman and Patrick Duffy drank real liquor the entire time they were filming that show.
Wow.
And
Did
they could still do their lines and they could still be mean and everything. Wow. But if you think about it, booze was a deal back then. Like my mom was watching General Hospital. Those guys were all drinking real booze all the time. And Dallas was all constant. Like Sue Ellen was a freaking alcoholic.
Yeah, and they didn't even do wine coolers. They did actual booze.
California coolers.
I know, right? Bartles and James. Really?
Man, those were tasty.
That was a dramatic pause.
Oh yeah. We got to start incorporating those.
We should incorporate dramatic pauses every now and then.
So, all right, here's what you've been waiting for. The top 5 overrated bands of the 1980s, and leading that list off is going to be Culture Club.
This is overrated?
Oh, yeah. What do you think? It's Culture Club. Overrated.
All right.
I'll tumble for you.
I'm just saying, with you, I don't know what you're going to do.
It's overrated. I'll tumble for you.
Okay, yeah.
You repeat it. You had the whole repeating the lyrics over and over again.
Yeah. I know you miss me. I know you miss me.
Gamma. No.
No. Yeah, just too much.
No. And, we understand that this is subjective. Everybody has a very emotional attachment to the types of music that they liked and didn't like in the 80s.
I totally agree.
So go ahead and give it to us. This is a great example of why they should go to don'tlistenchumcast.com, contact us and tell us what dickheads we are.
That's what I think people should do that.
Culture Club was top. Madness, I thought, was a little bit overrated, like maybe one album.
I couldn't even tell you what Madness was.
Yeah, you were. There was ska. They were great. I was into ska, but ska was very nichey at that point, right? They didn't get the record deals that everybody else was getting back in those days. Nah. And they didn't last long either. But they did have like 1 or 2 hits, right? Let's see. I got Phil Collins on the list. I know you're going to hate me for that.
No, that's stupid. Why would you even think of Madness? Because I don't even think they were rated. So how can they even make a blip on the radar if they're not even on the radar?
Let's not argue about that. Let's move on to Phil Collins.
Right, Phil Collins. He's the total sound of the 80s. So come on. He's one of the pillars.
Are you kidding me? That's like the most overrated.
No, Jacket Required comes out and that's like everybody's playing it.
I know. That's part of the problem. Every single song was a Phil Collins song.
Everybody thinks they're cool because they can do like the drum beat on In the Air Tonight.
Oh, Billy,
don't you lose my number.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
I really should have been a singer.
That was the video with the puppets of all the presidents.
No, that was Genesis.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Genesis. Phil Collins was Genesis, right? All right, let's move along. Huey Lewis. Overrated. Again, that's another overrated thing because we live in the Bay Area. Huey Lewis is from the Bay Area. He was everywhere. We heard him singing every national anthem.
Yeah.
He was on. If This Is It,
yeah, okay.
He was on like 40 times a day.
Okay. But the album 4 was very good, except then when they came back and they did Hip to Be Square, it was like they're sowing seeds of love. Come on.
Yeah.
Hip to Be Square. Who writes that kind of stuff? Come on.
Yeah.
That's not right.
I did like the fact that they were pretty normal people. They were like everyday guys.
Oh yeah. I like the song Jacob's Ladder that he used to do. That's a good song.
We were very exposed to that. Almost overexposed to that.
And they were good. They were good musicians.
They were.
But they were kind of like guys trying to be tough rocker type stuff, but they weren't rockers. You could totally tell they're all soft.
Oh yeah, the saxophone guy with the cigarette.
Yeah, the bass player with the cigarette. They're trying to be all like tough, but they're like, no, you're not tough. It's like I don't know.
Were they as overrated as Men at Work? Business as Usual? Who Can It Be Now? Down Under?
I don't even think Men at Work are up there to be overrated. So,
and I know you like Madonna, but I think she was probably the best at selling sex throughout the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That was really what she sold overall. Her music to me was overrated because it was very bubblegummy. It was very, and Nile Rodgers wrote a lot of, I don't know how much of her own music she wrote. I mean, she was a great, I think, performer, but I don't know what happened for her to decide to go with the chipmunk look later in life.
I don't know. I think
Sean Penn. Sean Penn likes chipmunks.
I think she was a pillar of the 80s, one of the pillars of the 80s. I think
there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
I mean, just the balance because of I thought she had great quality music. She actually sung live in concert. She knew how to dance. She knew how to perform. She knew how to put on a show. She had a great voice, and then she had the great visuals, the whole visual thing. She was the full package.
And I don't think she was doing much lip syncing.
Not like the others, right?
So they're going to give me the list for the underrated.
Okay, underrated bands. Okay,
let's see.
There you go.
That's correct, Rachel. Thank you very much. So Rachel's kind of the go-to.
She's taken over.
Okay, so the most underrated bands of the 1980s. Let's see. Where are we going to start with here? Do you have one off the top of your head?
I think the Outfield. I think they had a great sound, great music.
What happened to them, dude? It's like one album.
I know, but I just think
I agree. They
could have gone a lot further, man.
Rick Springfield? Dude. I wanted to be Rick Springfield growing up.
I know, but
he got all the hot chicks on General Hospital.
I know.
Then at night he was a rock star.
Yeah, but he's where he belongs. I think he's just about right.
Loverboy.
Okay, yeah, they're okay.
Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Don't even know what you're talking about.
Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight.
Underrated? I don't know. I think they're about where they belong.
On the sidelines?
Yeah. I mean,
at the county fair?
Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Okay, so that was More Cowbell, and it was brought to you by Not a Through Street Productions.
And can you believe it? We're done.
We are done. That's the episode of all episodes. That is the premiere of all premieres.
We actually got through this.
I don't know if we were. I'm kind of scarred.
You shouldn't be scarred. I think look, they're all celebrating in the control room. We got through it.
They're not celebrating.
They are. Look at them. They got some tacos. They're breaking out some tacos. It's time to go get some food.
Soft tacos?
I don't know, but there you go.
So I'm on a diet.
You're on a diet, so you're not going to have any tacos afterwards?
Well, I might have to have a cheat day here and there, and tacos kind of get me in the Achilles.
Yes.
That's the Achilles, right? Okay, so thanks for joining us. We're going to check you out next time. And you guys got to remember that all we want is on the other side of fear.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't listen. A Basic Chumcast has been an exclusive presentation of Whetstone Entertainment in association with Is Chill Productions. Subscribe, follow, like, and share us while on your favorite social media hangouts and our YouTube channel. We're not into begging, but if you like us, review us and support us by continuing to check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Find more fun and hit us with your feedback at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic.